made you decide that you wanted to get an au pair?
My biggest reason why we wanted to get an au pair was for consistency. I have a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old, and during the 5-year-old's beginning of his child care experience, we would have a student that would be home for college, and then they would have to leave, and then we'd have to get a new student that would be in college, and then second semester would change, and so it was just a consistently, felt like it was like every few months we would be trying to find a new one, or we'd go back to an old one, just because of the season of their life. Mm-hmm. So for us, it was consistency. That was a big thing. And then, of course, cost. As we got more children, things were getting more expensive, and so we're trying to find a way that would be beneficial in both of those aspects.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And consistency makes a difference. Did you notice a difference in child behavior because of it?
I wouldn't say enough to write home about. I do know that if they don't like the au pair or nanny, it's very clear. My son is very honest and very open, and so we never had a bad nanny experience. This is actually our second au pair, and we were rematched, and the first one didn't go so well, to be honest. And that I could see my son having a hard time.
So then what would you say was your tactic for finding a good match the second time around?
To start off, I think our biggest thing for us is our values. And so we're a faith-based family, and so that's very, very important, and that kind of would start the process to narrowing it down. For us, I think values is important because if you're on two different pages, and living in someone's home with different values can really be hard, I think. And then from there, I think experience is important, but also I think maybe even personality in the aspect of we've had people before we had au pairs live with us just because my husband is in an international mission organization, so we'd have people from Brazil, people from Poland, and in all this experience, I think people that aren't just like me is actually better. Mm-hmm. Which you would think, well, don't you want to get along, be just like you? But we've found that it's easier when they're not just like you, so you don't butt heads or whatever. So.
Yeah, I can see that.
Which is kind of, eye-opening. Our current au pair, she is not like me at all. She's quiet. She's more laid back. Very loud and maybe aggressive or structured. And she just, sure, I'll feel like doing this. Or she kind of goes with the flow, which is exactly what we need. So.
That's awesome. And I noticed in her nomination letter that she had talked about how she wanted to grow more as a Christian. So it's kind of cool that you guys were able to bond over that type of thing, too.
Yeah, we're very vocal. And so even in her Christian faith, she says, I've always been a Christian. And to us, you're not always a Christian. It's a choice you make. And so we pushed her in that. And she got to come to Germany with us, and we were at an international base, which I think she might have written about a little bit in the letter. It had about students from about 27 different countries in this one little base in Germany, and they're all in the organization that my husband works with. And I think that was eye-opening for her to see how to worship the Lord like in a Colombian way versus a Ukrainian way versus all these different countries. So I think, we do push her. She's quiet and doesn't like to get out and meet people. And so you get what you put into this experience. And she's done well with that challenge. We're not telling her go out and make friends, but, we encourage her.
So as far as bonding with the kids, and it sounds like you guys have kind of bonded on a personal level too. Is that something that you kind of plan to facilitate, or did it just happen?
I'm very structured, and so we have each week scheduled for the week prior of craft ideas, learning ideas for each of the kids, especially during the summer. I don't need someone just to sit and watch them. I want interaction and things that. So I kind of more lead that, more so because I'm not. I think she can do a good job, but sometimes she'll say go to park, and that's what she's going to do for the day. Well, I'm like, well, which park? She's like, well, I don't know. You have to have a plan, or you plan to fail. And so I like details in what they're going to do. It's almost as if I'm there, but I'm not. I want to know they're going to go to this park, and there's going to be that crazy slide that Asher likes, or, so I probably lead that more. I've had her do a couple times where she has to do the schedule for the next week, and I'll kind of critique it. But for the most part, sometimes it's just faster if I do it. So I think the bonding, she's done really well. Our kids are all very different. She does a good job. I think also being a little bit younger has helped. I was a little worried at first because she came to us at 18. Mm-hmm. And I think that you have to be careful not to just put her in a box, If anything, she connects with the kids better because she's closer in age to my kids than she is with me, So,
yeah.
So, which I thought would be a bad thing, but sometimes that gives them the ability to mold and to still grow of who they are. So.
Yeah. So then, how did you go about? When did you start setting expectations with her?
From the beginning, you got to put them high. You got to be stronger, I think, at the beginning so there's no disappointment before they come. We've probably let a few things go because things are so great. We don't meet every week. We used to meet every Monday night and we'd talk about things that we wanted to be stronger, and she would come with her concerns if she had any. But now we're kind of at a popcorn mentality where I can just say it and she grabs it right away, and then we just kind of move on, So I think expectations I try to keep high. In the profile, I maxed out the 45 hours just from the get-go so that there was no disappointment when she came. But, she probably works an average of 35, Mm-hmm. And then as school comes, it's going to be brought down a lot because all of them will be in preschool or school. More than half the day. So I think just having a high expectation for that, and I think that's where you can fail is, I think with the first one, I think she expected more things that we weren't able to give, and so just even that expectation where our car is at, what it means for you to drive our car, it's all in a book I made, and gave her a copy of that before they came, so it's kind of really clear. I think high expectations is better so that there is no disappointment and you can always bring those back. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then, if something kind of falls short, it's like, well, we set this really high, so you actually met our expectation.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a good point.
So then you mentioned that you guys have weekly meetings. Was there anything else you did to make sure that you have consistent communication?
We do provide a cell phone, so that I think helps. I think the schedules help too, because each week she knows, okay, today she's going to the beach, and this is the time she'll be at the beach, and this is when she'll come back, and this is when they nap. I type that all out, so it's very you can't really fail. And then I also give the schedule 2 weeks prior of what she's needing to work, so then she can also make plans to have a life. I also put a month prior that this is probably what it will look like, but again, if in 4 weeks ahead of time it changes, I'll let you know. So we also sync calendars. She can see any change that I make in our calendars. That's just for her. So if her schedule needs a change, she just can see it on her phone, which I think is a good way for her to be able to have a life. If she makes plans with a friend that's 3 weeks out, put it in the calendar and I'll work around it. Mm-hmm. So try to really, we've never said no or she had to come back from something early because of having to work. To me, her friends and her social life is just as important. So.
Yeah, and that's a good point too, because I think with homesickness and just being in a new place, it's usually more successful when the au pair is able to bond with friends right away and just feel like they're a part of the family life.
Yeah. She probably only has one friend, and that friend she knows doesn't treat her well. And so I at a movie. So I tried to make her feel special and things like that. So I do think friendship stuff helps, but I think for her, knowing she's part of the family is important too.
Yeah, absolutely. Just as far as like making sure that you guys are on the same page with parenting style, I mean, is that you mentioned that you had kind of just written things down as far as expectations go?
Yeah, I wrote down a lot of it. Again, the expectation was higher than probably what she saw me do every day. And that I also communicated that I'm going to let things go differently than I want you to when I'm not here. So that at first it's really hard because she doesn't have much of a social life. Like yesterday she had the whole day off, but she hung out with me all day, and that's totally fine. But then sometimes I feel like I can't relax. So I'm just very clear about, I might, and even like as a mother, you get short and you're thinking, okay, this is embarrassing. I got short in front of my kid because three of them were asking me the same question at the same time, and so then I'm embarrassed. So I'm just having to balance that sometimes. But I think for disciplining, she does a good job. She also, at the end of the day, gets 15 minutes to write like a log of how it went, the high of the day, the low of the day with each of the kids. And so then at night, I can also reinforce any of the issues she may have had with the children. So when I'm putting to sleep, hey, she asked you to eat this and you didn't. Do you understand that you need to? Just to kind of be a support to her and be on the same team so she doesn't feel like she's fighting the kids by herself. So I think that has also helped. And then I can talk about the high times too with the kids. Was it fun making Jello last night? Was it now? How does that go? Did you enjoy measuring it? So it allows me to communicate with the kids as if I was there too. So.
Yeah, that's great. And I feel like a lot of the people who are really successful in their placements and just feel like right at home, has a lot to do with the parents' involvement in the child's behavior and just like acting as a support, like, hey, they are like your parent when I'm not here.
Yeah. We do that. And so I think that helps. Sometimes even that are great about our pair. But sometimes I'll be like, hey, Asher, and, I'm calling my son's name, and then she'll trip and she's like, Asher, I'm talking to you. And I'm always like, I'm here, I can do it, so I have that a lot that I have to deal with because she's off the clock, but she just kind of speaks in or, so sometimes those are hard moments for me. And I experience them more than my husband, but he's experienced it a few times. We are very comfortable with her, and maybe sometimes that can be hard, So how do you keep that professional relationship, but also a family? She'll say my husband has his blinker on too much when he drives, and she'll speak up and say that, and sometimes that can be hard, but you kind of just, come back with a funny line and kind of pass through definitely saying, hey, I'm driven longer than you or whatever, but but again, she takes guidance really well and correction really well. So again, I wouldn't have, I would encourage her to keep making friends, and I'm still doing that. But other than that, there would be nothing which is completely different than our first experience. So, so that's kind of interesting. I wouldn't, if anyone is in it and it's not going well, I would say not to give up. So.
Yeah, and I think too maybe sometimes people underestimate the power of being able to communicate, and they're just like, oh, it's not working out. I don't know what to do about it. We should rematch. And so I mean, what would you say is the difference between like your first placement not working out and not being able to get that situation to go? Was it just like a experience thing? Was it just that the au pair was unwilling to work things out?
I think it was expectations. We really tried. She spoke Spanish. I had a translator come over every night for the first 3 weeks. We were really trying. I'm like one of those, I'm going to fight for it kind of thing. But the expectations of what the car was, she in the end didn't like because, their au pair had something better. She didn't like making a schedule with me because she just thought, I'll do something for the day, don't worry. So things like that. I think expectations were, I think she wanted more of, hey, kind of your family to be transparent, and we weren't that. We weren't just like, so I think that was also hard. She comes from a very well-off family, and I think probably better than us to be transparent, and then to come to us wasn't what she was looking for. So, maybe we gave her an iPhone 8, wasn't good enough because she personally had an iPhone 10, like little things like that. But we still tried, and, we would try different things, and it just wasn't working. I know that she got rematched. I don't know if she finished out that year either, or finished the year. So, I think the best of her, and I want her to be happy, and we, she wanted, more time off than what we had to give her. We gave it to her, but I just don't think we were succeeding her expectations. So, and at some point we felt like we were working harder to please her than it was even becoming beneficial for us. So,
right.
And she was the one that actually asked to be rematched. And I think when that happened, at first I was scared to have to go through it again. But hindsight 2020, it was the best thing for us. I was just going to make it work and just kind of think this was the best it's going to be. And but it is night and day difference, and I'm glad it happened when it did.
Cool, yeah, because we are noticing the same thing where it's like if you start out with the same expectations and you're able to communicate, some of these things are lifestyle preferences that you don't really think about or foresee, and then the match happens and you're like, oh, this just isn't going to work. Whereas if you're able to talk about that in the interview, that can kind of help forestall some of those issues.
I think so. I think we want them to be part of our family, and I don't think the first affair desired that much. And so, and that's kind of a weird thing, saying, hey, do you want to be really part of our family? It's not like they're going to say no. So just kind of, I think that was one thing, because we wanted her to join us for dinner. She never, in the 6 months she was with us, never did, because she wasn't hungry at that time, was her reasoning. And so we'd make her a plate and, hope that it was a good enough plate for her. And so I think that was a big thing. Funny thing is, when we were actually rematching, we had a very open dialogue with the first affair. And I said, hey, this is here that you were picking from. What do you think? And she came back with what she thought would be better. And then she was picking families, and we helped her. So it wasn't like we left upset. It was just the expectations, I think, of what she was looking for, we didn't have. So, and we wouldn't have known or learned to ask that without, having that experience. So, so I don't think it was a terrible learning experience. I mean, it was hard going through it, but in the end it was just fine. So, so maybe there is a good question book, like you're saying, for expectations. So.
Yeah, and from, I think maybe families don't think about the au pair's side and what their expectations are going to be, so that's definitely something to think through.
Yeah, for sure.
So, what would you say is the most important thing for families to just be successful during their match?
Well, as we brought up a number of times, I think expectations is a big thing. What they're expecting to work, what they're expecting from your family, what they're expecting around you, what they're hoping to get out of it. Are they hoping to travel with your family? Do they, are they coming here to just work, or are they coming here to make friends? I think that expectation, is a big thing. And communication, I think, is important. Personality, which I brought up, I think is also one that we've learned is key for us. Somebody that's laid back but can handle correction and growth in who they are, because you want them to do it the way that you want to parent your children, because you're not able to be there. So I think that would be probably our thing. So.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to share about your experience?
I tell everyone about it. They're like, oh, how'd you find your nanny? And I'm like, well, let me tell you. You have 30 minutes, So, I think that it's sometimes a big investment at the beginning. I think that scares people. But I think after you get in it for 6 months and you do have a great relationship with your au pair, you see the cost effect, and that it was a big investment, but in the end it kind of spreads out to be the cost even better, and it's worth it. And even having a bad experience, I can tell you it's still worth it, because rematch in 30 days or whatever, all those good things. So I would just encourage people to look into it. I think that's kind of what I do whenever I talk about it. I mean, I feel like the last 2 days I talked to 2 different people about it. So everyone should have an au pair if you ask me. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Even if you don't work, I think I'm a better mom because of it, because I'm not as exhausted. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you guys are supporting each other.
Yeah. I mean, she's amazing. And I'm going to be really sad when she leaves because I don't know what I'm going to do. I know there'll be a better good one out there or another good person, but as of right now, I have it really good. So.
There was a mom on Facebook, she tagged us, and she had gotten 5 of her previous au pairs together for the 4th of July. And they all came to her house. I was like, that is the coolest thing.
Yeah, that is good. That is cool. That's, she's probably a really good host on this, for them to want to come back to.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and you guys are obviously great hosts too. Does she say it Danel? Danel, yeah. Her nomination letter, I don't know if you got a chance to read the whole thing, but she just talks about how great you guys are in supporting her. So thank you for being so great to her.
Oh, no, it's funny. I took a picture of us last week, and my husband was dyeing her hair. And I'm like, I don't think a lot of host parents do this. So he was like, she asked him to dye his hair. And I'm like, are you serious? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, because I'm bad at it. So I'm like, this is like when you're in a good level, when you trust him to dye your hair. So yeah, but it turned out there's difference. Yeah, I really enjoy her. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe she should dye my hair.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so if you have any other questions or the video thing was kind of like, ooh, and then like at first I was like, yeah, sure, and then I watched some of the videos and I was like, I don't know if I can do that. So.
No, that's okay.
Not that I haven't used Skype or whatnot, but maybe later. And I also am just getting over a cold, so I sound like a smoker, so I'm sorry.
Oh, you sound fine. I was actually going to ask if you would mind sharing a recording of this conversation, or if you just want me to take snippets that I can just share in a video that I do myself.
You can use the video if you like. That's totally fine.
Okay. That would be great. I think people will really benefit from your insights.
Good.
Okay.
If there's anything else that you need from me, if there's like, oh, I just wanted to ask you a question, feel free to email or call or whatever. So.
Okay, I definitely will. I'm going to go through and I'll just kind of edit this and make a video out of it, and I will let you know if I need anything else.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for being flexible again this morning, too.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, no worries. Well, have a good day.
You too. Have a great day.